So how was your week?
Well, we had a good week. We had a good trip when we went to the wedding in New Hampshire. But as you mentioned on the way here, it kind of got dampered down. It's hard to talk about all that after the.
Beautiful wedding.
Yeah, it was a beautiful wedding. You know, I got a lot to say about the wedding. Actually, let's start on a good note.
Okay.
Let's obviously the Charlie Kirk thing is on everybody's mind, and it's just kind of hard to show up and be happy when there's a lot to talk about there too. And of course, we haven't done a whole lot of political stuff on here, but I have a whole lot to say about it, and it just might all come out eventually here. But let's go to the wedding because it was a very, very cool thing. My niece Sarah, your cousin, her mom is Lisa's sister, Sharon, and then we've got Kurt, so that side of the family, had one of the most complete, awesome weddings. And the only way I can explain it, not being, being a guy and not be able to put it in wedding terms, and you can put it in all the girly wedding terms, but we traveled all the way to New Hampshire. Now, the first thought about that, whether you can afford to or not, or have the time or not, and we're very busy and it's an expensive trip, is, oh, we're just going to go out there for a wedding. That's what people think, right? No. They made sure it was worth our while. We showed up the day before, and it's let's just be straight up. It's a party family. Like everybody drinks. I think I was literally the only person not drinking, other than maybe was Sammy not drinking too, or pretty much I was just enjoying it and watching everybody. But everybody has a good time. So there's a soiree the day before the wedding, not just a soiree. I mean, a really nice place where everybody had drinks and some appetizers. And the next day we had the wedding, right?
Yeah.
But we got there early, so everybody went to the bar across the street before the wedding. Didn't get drunk or anything like that, but had a little breakfast food and some champagne. Had a phenomenal wedding, and I told my aunt it was a great church, but she's like, "What Catholic church doesn't look great inside?" There are some, but she's not wrong. Something about it.
They're all unique, but this one was big, like cathedral ceilings, beautiful stained glass windows.
Awesome.
Like the ambiance, it was perfect. It was beautiful.
It was a humbling church to be in. And I will brag, I got to be one of the people that took Sierra from the limousine to her father so that her father could then deliver her to the groom. And I think that was symbolic because we have a phenomenal relationship, which we can go into later. I've got lots of stories about Sierra, one really good one, as you know. And it was nice. It was a gesture. She knows she didn't have to do that we know we're good, but I think she wanted to do that, and it was pretty cool. And then the fun part is we go to the reception, and there's a room outside of where you eat, and that was shut down, but they made sure there was booze and food and walking. Like, it couldn't have been a better setup. Then we had dinner. The band stayed like an hour and a half later because they loved the people there. Nobody left.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Nobody
left.
Catch that.
Did you notice at like midnight that only maybe 15% of the people peeled out? Like nobody left. Nobody stopped dancing. Nobody stopped having a good time. There was nothing stagnant about that party.
I think there was 3 people sitting down while everyone else was dancing.
I was one of them half the time because it was a lot. But your mom was dancing more than I've ever seen her dance at something like this. Even I danced because everybody kept grabbing me, which was nice, even though I can't dance. Let's just be honest.
No, but who really can? Everyone feels like they can't dance.
Oh, you guys look great. I feel like I already look like a robot. So, and then even the wait staff, I guess, turned out the staff that hosts the dinner, they were always smiling and happy. I thought that was just their job. They went and said that was one of the funnest groups, if not the funnest group they've ever seen in that place. So I just loved it all. The family is amazing. What did you think?
Oh my gosh. I have no words. It was beautiful. And the couple is 2 of the most kind individuals that I know. Unfortunately, she moved away when we were younger, so I'm not like as close as some of our other cousins, but I know anytime I could call her and her now husband, Brendan, and I know they would be there for me because, oh my gosh, she chose well.
Yeah, his side of the family was
and
amazing.
They're so nice. Yeah. Yes. And it was fun. So she had like on your phone, I forget what it's called, POV. So you could take pictures throughout the night. And then she had like a little telephone that you could leave messages on.
I left like 5 voicemails.
Oh my gosh, who didn't? and like I'm sure as the night progresses, they get more crazy and more fun. And wrote quite a message in her little book. It's just like, it was so fun. She's like my sister. She's like, even though we're not so close growing up, she was my older sister. I am an oldest, but I'm also not an oldest.
Right.
Because like to describe our family, not one of my cousins would I not do or drop anything for. And something that even like this week is just like becoming even more apparent is family matters so much. And sure, you can't really choose your blood, but you should 100% defend them at any turning point and be there for them all the time. And I think that our family does a really good job of that within all of our capabilities. We all have our own families, but I mean, I just tell people I have 30 cousins and they're all like my siblings. And a lot of us, we grew up where they would come to our house and be there for hours and hours, like weeks at a time. So I just like having everyone, and Brendan's family is like that too.
Brendan's family was
they're the same way.
It was a big surprise to me.
Yeah.
I was like, when I met his dad and shook his hand and watched him interact and then watched the next person.
Yep.
Just quality people. And I didn't meet anybody to that point, but I'm pretty good study of character, I think you would agree. And I was so relieved and happy, the feeling of success that is going to come to those two. You know, I immediately projected the future for them being tremendous.
It's going to be good. It was such a fun wedding. And like that trip will never, ever happen again because like the group of people that was in the same area all at once, like there's no real reason we would all be in that group again. And the whole weekend, it was just incredible. I don't have enough words to say about it.
All right, I'm going to try to say something that I really couldn't even articulate hardly to your mother, but I probably was the most humbled I ever have been in my life. And it's going to sound like I'm bragging for a second, but I have to figure out how to articulate it. I've never had so many people in a row in a short period of time come to me and say something really incredible about even me or somehow how I've affected them. You, your sister, your brother, how Lisa's amazing. Everybody just came to me and flooded me with positive things. Things I didn't even know they followed me. I saw you did this. I know you guys are doing this. I watched our podcast actually was brought up and brought up in a context that somehow they learned something or could use something from it, which, you know, I guess I get, but that's not how we're looking at that when we're recording it, right? So, you know, I guess I'm not one, I try not to publicly pat myself on the back because I think you have to do what you have to do and you should always keep pushing and stuff. But if I was going to take a moment to sit back and really enjoy the compliments, enjoy what you guys have done, the family we've created, and I don't think it's a stretch to say that our family does have some sort of a position that, you know, the other families do have some synergy with or really appreciate, you know, maybe more than some others. I mean, that's just saying it out loud only because of the amount of tremendous feedback and positive things. And again, across the board, whether it be Megan, you, Peter, Lisa, everybody loves, but not just likes your mom, but just the way she handles things and the way she deals with the cousins and the kids, because we treat them like our own kids. Again, I could go on forever, but am I making sense?
Yeah, well, something that I've noticed a lot with like particularly the generation right above mine. So I'm Gen Z, I'm 23 years old, but there's that group of people who are, I would say 25 to 35, and it's not all of them, but it's a good majority of them who really protect their peace. And I think they've had to because I truly believe there's been a war on basically the millennials, a war with like the social media, with big food, big tech, like all the things that are impacting their lives, and they're having to work through autoimmune disease. Like we were just talking beforehand, how someone, you know, that Jason had here who had autoimmune diseases. I actually don't know hardly any millennials who don't personally know someone or aren't themselves like sick in some way, shape, or form. But that whole generation is so set on protecting their peace that sometimes, because they can't take care of themselves the way they should because they've been lied to their whole lives, they're not able to like extend olive branches out. And I feel like part of me growing up, I've been able to see that. And so I've always focused and prioritized on health. And it doesn't mean that they didn't. They just got into it later.
Gotcha.
They were lied to longer than I was, because my generation, I think Gen Z is one of the most health conscious generations, not because millennials don't want to be, but because we've been given the information because of the actual warriors who have been doing it for so long,
Right.
who fought all the millions and billions of dollars of lies that our world, for lack of a better term, basically, evil has like pushed on them. And so our family, you and mom, created children who I think were born in the perfect generation to, like, I'm not perfect all the time. I really try to be there for people because that's what I've witnessed from you and mom my entire life. And I've been chronically ill most of my life. And I realized that in those moments that I had to make myself better so I could help others more. And even if it's just like Sophia, my cousin, she lives with us. And even if it's just talking to her or like sharing my thoughts or just being authentically myself and being like, I actually can't handle this today. I need to work on this. And then let's come back to this later. Like, it doesn't have to be so macro. People get stuck on trying to change the entire world. And something I'm realizing as a young woman is like, you just have to make a difference in your family's life. And your family is who you choose. But my cousins are not going anywhere, and I wish nothing but the best for them. And their parents are not going anywhere, and their kids are not going anywhere. And all I can do is be in a position where if they ever need to come to me, I can be there for them because I take care of myself. I take care of my immediate family, and I do what I believe is necessary in order to share and spread information and love and hope, because I think our world is so hopeless right now. And so, like, when people are coming up to you and they're saying these things, we're not doing anything crazy. All we're doing is being there for people. We're just being authentic. I don't try to lie to people. I'm not perfect all the time. I don't pretend to be. And I don't want anyone to think that they can't come as they are, because everyone has struggles. And I guess, like, that's what you and mom have always done.
Well, I agree. The only rule I have is just don't lie.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
Be honest. That's it.
And if you set a boundary, if you cross it, here's the consequence. Politely, here it is, And sometimes it's harsh, and sometimes you tell people things they don't want to hear or they're not ready for. And it will come around. You've experienced that your whole life.
Yeah.
Where people come to you and they're like, wow, I really hated you for like 4 years. And I've actually realized that you're right. And you're the reason that I was able to excel in this area of life, just because you said what most people are not telling them,
No, I agree.
And it's just like so sad. It's so sad what our world is coming to. And I do not want my children to be raised in the world where they're constantly lied to, not just by the people around them, but by all of social media, by our school systems, by our political parties. And it's not just one, it can be both. It can be the extremes. Like, I just
have to say,
incredibly sad.
Even before we get to what, I have so much to say about the Charlie Kirk thing, right?
Yeah.
But look at the Ukrainian girl that was stabbed. You know what comes to my mind on this? I keep thinking, if I saw that guy with that knife stab that girl, what would I do if I was sitting on that subway? Mm-hmm. Right? And the problem is, and I truly believe in my heart I would have done something, knowing that he has a knife and I might end up stabbed too, right? I'm very aware because we do martial arts and we've done jiu-jitsu, that little knife is extremely dangerous because you can stab so quickly. I mean, unless you have a full control of somebody, it's very easy to get killed with even a small knife. So I'm more aware than most that might be oblivious to what that knife can do to them. And I still really would like to believe that I would have tried to help her, and if he was still there, I mean, obviously, stop him if I could, but even after the event, try to help, right? But the problem is, I just don't think there's enough people that do, right? You look at, I just saw this clip about Charlie Kirk. He, no matter what, stuck with his beliefs and owned it, right? So instead of, and I even saw a clip that kind of got me thinking like this. Everybody else will just get behind their keyboards and poke, but nobody could stand and debate him. And he let everybody talk. The second they booed the person that was debating him, he told them to be quiet. Mm-hmm. So all the crap that these people think they know is not true. But who actually does what they say and says what they do to the end? My father was actually one of those people, and I try to be like that. But you'd be lying if you said you're not scared, right? Like when you're in a situation. Well, actually, you were okay. So you were privy to this situation at the restaurant. At what was that waitress that gave me that video clip? Remember when that
What
guy
video
from
clip?
prison went off at the restaurant, and I locked him out of the
What?
Jonas. Remember we're at Jonas?
Oh, yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes. Yeah.
So you didn't even know about that till we were sitting at the.
No.
So this is a crazy story, and this is a situation where I was fearful, right?
Yeah.
But I did do it. So your mom and I are sitting there at Jonas. There's this redhead here who kind of is like the personality of the place, takes care of the place. I think she's a manager. Great lady. I look over and this guy, pretty tough looking guy, kind of looks like he's out of prison, right? Like that kind of muscular build and, you know, maybe 10 years younger than me, not super young, really becoming aggressive. And she's politely kind of walking him to the door, right? So I'm like, okay. And there is actually 6, if not 8, lumberjack-looking, tall, young men within touch of this going on in these little side tables. So I'm thinking, okay, well, she's got 6 people. One of them, she's not going to be hurt. And as I'm looking, sure enough, they're staring at each other like they don't see what's going on because this guy is so aggressive. And I look over, and then he shoves her. So I get up, and I quickly get in between them. And now we're about 5 feet from the door. And I get in between him. I kind of back him off for a second. And he looks at me, and he says, "Are you going to do something?" And I stared him right in the eye, and I said, "I absolutely 100% am going to do something." And then it was like the OK Corral where you see the eyeball and you see the sweat. Like it was a moment. And I was genuinely nervous. I mean, the guy was very imposing, right? But there's no way in hell she's going to be able to do anything.
Right.
And obviously the guys in the wall weren't doing anything, which blew my mind, right? So he then breaks out of this look, kicks the door open, rips off his shirt. And I pulled the door shut and locked it. I swear to God. And I was like, thank God. I mean, of course, I would have done whatever I have to do, but as soon as he went outside, I locked the door. And then she gave us the video of him losing his fucking mind outside, slamming the windows. The cops came and got him. Turned out he was on drugs. He did just get out of prison. That's why he looked like all muscled up like that. And the thing that killed me was not one of those men, and they were significantly bigger than him and I, did a thing about it. And here's the sad part. One was her brother.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that because he paid for our dinner. Can you believe that? Could you ever see your brother?
Oh, no. No. No.
Your brother would murder that guy or die trying. He would never, ever let him raise a finger or a word to you. And I'm proud of that. And I know that 100%. And we're raising people that have that mindset. And it's scary. It is scary. Like, again, I say that it's going to sound a little bit, but it actually happened.
It's not even just scary that you're standing up for that woman in the moment. It's also scary because men have been punished for acting like men by every systemic institution that's pretty much in place right now.
It's true.
You would be, for some reason, if you got in a fight with that man, and you would not relent, right?
Right.
And he might look worse.
You can't relent,
but he might
look
worse than you in the end,
right.
And it would be your fault.
100%.
It would be your fault.
100%.
So white men truly are being punished for being men.
Right. You're right. You're 100% right. To back that statement up, and it's a human nature thing. Mm-hmm. I won't tell the whole story. It was a horrific event. But actually, when I was a little nerd in technical school, one of the older guys picked a fight with me, I was getting an A+ in the class because I led the curve by how much work I did. Everybody else was getting like a C because they couldn't keep up. I didn't even know that. It was electronics class. I loved it. But anyways, he started a fight with me. Long story short, I hurt him pretty good, right? And severely. Because we went through a window together in the fight. So when all this happened, we're suspended, they set the class down and said, and the whole class was against me. I watched that guy pick on every single person in that room. I never picked anybody, never touched anybody, never. And because I won the fight and because he was so hurt, even though He had 4 of them were there when it started. They were all ganging up on me, and I
Yeah.
hurt the one, right? Because I won, I was the villain. And I was
No, but you need to be
127 pounds. Yeah,
nice. You need to be nice. You can't hurt people.
but the guy picked me up with
No,
one
no,
hand.
words are more effective.
Right. So
No.
it's human nature. Just
It's not. It's not. Men are different. They're wired differently. They're supposed to fight for their family. They're supposed to protect. And they're being punished
right.
all the time. We watched that happen 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Horrific.
Yeah.
He was murdered for protecting and trying to create a better world for his children, for his wife, for the youth of America.
Can you imagine? His wife and children were there.
I cannot imagine. I don't want to imagine.
Unfortunately, I saw the video, and I'm a hunter, and it looked like an animal getting hit, the shockwave of the rifle.
Horrific. And the people who are actually cheering that on, whether privately or publicly, are honestly, it's not even a war against people. It's a war against evil. It's a war against evil spirits and Satan, because he's convinced a lot of people that he doesn't exist. And it's one of the greatest feats he ever accomplished. And he sure does. He sure does.
He does.
And he's fighting every single day.
Well, you heard all the other conservatives that are going on campus. They're like, "You think we're going to stop?"
Oh, no.
We're coming.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. And so one of my uncles actually made a comment on one of my posts, and he goes, Satan really overplayed his cards this month.
100%.
Because all he did is create even more people who are going to fight way harder than they were before.
Here's what I told your mom. The conservatives, at least my climate, we are busy working, taking care of our family, doing what we think is right. We're not busy trying to pick fights, right? But it's kind of like poke the bear, right? Even me, like I generally don't go to war, but if I do, I am absolutely positively going to win that war, right? Just like that picking on my aunt. I got pulled into that, and I promise you, she'll never, ever forget how aggressively I protect my aunt and get this thing taken care of, right? But it's her fault that I was there. She poked the bear. I wasn't involved in this whole thing until she targeted my aunt, right? Well, these conservatives who have been minding their own business, tolerating all this bullshit, when they decide to take a minute out of their life to come back and handle all this bullshit, I just don't think these, I don't want to just group all liberals, but this climate of absolute lunatics.
Well, I think most people who are still affiliating with the liberal movement after this specific day, like the politicians, like, I mean, I think we all saw that I think it was the Congress hearing. Forgive me, I'm not super familiar with all the political terms because I don't follow it quite that closely, but what did they do? They were saying no. Can you give me more insight to that?
Which one are you talking about?
So
I watch a lot of
the
it,
Republican, I think it's the House. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm gonna have to find the video and we can insert it here. But it's a clip of while they're talking about Kirk, they were giving him a silent moment in either the House or Congress or something like that.
Rise.
No. The entire liberal left sat up in that room and shouted no for the moment of silence for Charlie Kirk being murdered.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
I saw 2 people wouldn't stand in one of the different venues.
They're literally shouting
They said no.
No, because they don't want a moment silent for. They think it's karma. They think that he deserved that because he was having a conversation. He was providing a platform for young Americans to ask questions that they're not allowed to ask. You cannot walk into a college campus, walk up to a professor and ask, "Why is this true? Why does this work like this?" Because it does. Because I said so. Because you're racist. Why would you even ask that? That's absurd.
Well, I know for a fact that in some of the on-campus jobs, when they're having their training sessions, they provide coloring books and fidget spinners for attention span. And, if you're uncomfortable or, you need a break, go ahead. And the fact that we're sending people to college to become productive workers in our society, and that happens, absolutely blows my mind.
I'm pulling up the clip. Okay, so Charlie Kirk, moment of silence on House floor turns into shouting match. So these are the people that apparently were elected. And we'll insert a clip, but I want to show you guys.
Show it to the camera.
Let's see how long this is. It's 2 minutes, so I'm just gonna show you guys because we'll insert it over this.
Just double tap and I'll go forward.
First, the gentlelady from Colorado Rush.
Shh.
You've got to be kidding me. That is so embarrassing for our country. Show to the camera.
So be in order.
It's
We will join prayer right after this, okay? The chair lays before the House a communication. The House will be in order.
Unbelievable.
Because they specifically, so to get that context right, because they asked for a verbal prayer because silent prayers get silent answers. And this is what happened at the top level of our government. That's fucking bullshit.
I agree. And people voted for these fucking idiots.
I don't know
understand.
who.
I don't understand.
I don't know who.
I don't get it.
I saw a clip of Crockett that I don't even know her. Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, yeah.
She literally said
The criminal.
Yeah. Oh, no. She said, okay, I don't even know much about her, but I see some of her clips and I will find the full context because I hate taking things out of context.
Mm-hmm.
I will find it and will link it below. But she said that police are not meant to prevent crime. They're meant to handle it after the crime happens.
Are you kidding me?
And she is the face of the Democrat Party right now. And she is supposedly the face of the youth liberals. I don't like arguing with people. I like having conversation, just like Charlie Kirk did, right? Like I actually seek to understand because there is a reason that people have the views they view. So just because you affiliate with the liberal party does not mean that you are evil by affiliation. I would never want to be affiliated like that to a person I'm close to, and I will never do that to somebody else. However, if you are the one who's talking out in public right now saying that, like laughing about the fact that Charlie Kirk died, you are what's wrong. And I do believe that you actually need Jesus. And I'm not even saying that to be sarcastic. Like you are plagued by evil demons. I watched a very impactful video about, and honestly, I watch a lot of videos and I have a lot of thoughts about it, but for whatever reason, I don't really share it. I share it with certain people, but all I do is share the video. I don't tell them why it's important. And I love learning and researching more. So I saw this video and it was on like, how many evil spirits and demons are truly out there, and the kinds. There's specific kinds for marijuana, like actually getting you addicted to drugs, some for lust, some for all the deadly sins. And then there's some lesser demons. There is 3 demons for every individual alive on this planet. So if you do not have your personal house in order, you are going to be swayed by the demons sitting in your ear, especially if like imagine having brain fog, right? And that's most people who are chronically ill and beyond, people who are overloaded in parasites, who have heavy metal toxicities, who have chronic problems that they've had their entire life. You don't have enough energy to fight for truth or to even seek it for yourself. So that's why young women should be seeking God and truth and family so that they can be close to those individuals and help them out of it, because they are mentally ill. These people laughing about Charlie Kirk dying their souls are overtaken by evil spirits. And they are fighting a war that no one else can see. And they need help. They don't need us just condemning them and saying that they don't deserve a voice. No, they deserve God and they need help. They need way more than what they're getting.
And what's crazy is...
And it starts with the house. It starts with the man of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And what they're not getting is, they killed Charlie Kirk. They don't realize how many people he's impacted and the level of which this is going to get attention, right? I mean, this is along the lines.
Satan overplayed his cards.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. This is just crazy. And I don't want to make this whole thing dark because it's killing me, but
Should be dark. It should be dark because we are our
Something's gotta
children,
change.
our youth is at war with an invisible enemy who's convinced the majority mass people that he doesn't exist.
Well, and again, like I said before, the number one problem is bad parenting. Parents are not putting the time into their children to create the right perspectives and the right morals and all those things
And they were not given the resources because they do not seek God. They're not. And it's their fault once they've been given the truth. So some people are not in a good environment where they're hearing these things. But if you are watching what's happening nowadays and you know that God is actually real and God is the salvation, even if you don't believe it, I've actually been watching a lot of people who I've known to be atheists sharing Bible quotes and stuff, which actually is baffling. And I love to see it because it couldn't be truer. We are fighting a war that are all of social media and Hollywood and all the people at the top level have convinced us actually doesn't exist. It's why there's so many atheists right now. And so your brother, I've been thinking a lot about our conversation specifically since that podcast about, do you think that, and I'm misquoting his question, but do you think people's actions are swayed by religion? Was that not generally the gist? 1,000%. But the people who have disregarded religion, how do you base your morals? And I was watching some of the Charlie Kirk videos on specifically what he's trying to do. Like, we need God in our country. He should be the base. Because if not, what are we basing our laws off of? There is absolutely no reason that abortion should be legal or allowed or actually funded by our government. It is 1,000 trillion% detrimental to the women in our society, let alone the men's who actually have no choice. They have no decision because our entire government and every, basically, for lack of a better term, the Matrix has convinced us that our body is the only thing that exists, right? That is all that matters. We are not made for this world. We are made for so much more. It's not even for this world.
Well, like Elon Musk said, he goes, the government's basically unfixable at this point.
It's not unfixable. That is a very hopeless feeling. However, there has to be, we have to fight.
Listen why I said that, though.
Okay.
Because financially, what a lot of these things come from is greed. So almost everything that's happened that you look at it and say common sense should not dictate these pharmaceuticals end up being where they were, where they're not tested. Not one childhood pharmaceutical was tested for more than 5 days looking for symptoms. All these things are finding out, all the autism problems, all the waste on money, the fact that, we elect people that would do that. It all stems from money and bribes and kickbacks. And so it's a poison system. So when he said that, no, he wasn't talking about the moral and the spiritual thing, but again, that absolutely trashy, money-driven, greed-driven. It's probably not fixable.
It's very much worldly. If we shift back to like what the actual bigger picture is and everything that God preaches and teaches, it's that like we're meant for eternal life with him. We're not meant for this world. So all of your anxiety and depression, it actually doesn't matter. And it's not that I don't care about your feelings. It's that it's all a lie. And you're here for maybe 80, 90 years if you're lucky.
I hope.
If you're lucky. If you're not lucky, like a lot of people who unfortunately have been vaccinated with fake fucking vaccines that are actually killing people with turbo cancers and brain aneurysms and heart conditions, you might not make it past the age of 30.
Or my dad killed himself at 53 by drinking too much. Like, who knows what your time is?
No, but you're just trying to do what's right and listening to the professionals when the professionals, lawyers, who do go to college. Well, actually, did you know that the woman who was murdered on the train, Irina, the judges who released the man who murdered her don't even have lawyer degrees.
Yeah, I've seen that in the news. I never would have even guessed to think that.
No. And those people are what is wrong. It's like, it's all a lie. Everything is fake and gay. Everything is fake and gay. It's all a lie. Everything is a lie.
It's actually a good point, though.
And
that's her title.
I definitely stole it from Candace Owens. And yes, I watch her very much so. But like as a young woman, I just like, and I've always wanted to do this. I've just never really taken the next step to, and I've only stayed kind of within my circle. I try and be like a positive influence to the women around me, and nobody's perfect ever.
Well, you're a positive influence to everybody, not just women.
I do. I know,
I
but
see you mentor, men, women, kids.
But I do really try, and I think men and women are very different. So they need a man to really lead them, because I'm not helping them. Being a strong female who's telling men what to do, that's not really what we're supposed to do. Not that my voice doesn't matter, or that I have
that's the thing when
or
you
that
say
I have to be underfoot.
Listen,
not at all.
That's what people get confused with, because when you say that, when you say men and women are different or how they work, they always convert that to somehow the woman is less than. That's not the case. They are equal in value in the things they do. They're just different. They have different roles. So, but the problem is, if you automatically convert when someone talks about men and women, how they work together, how one follows the other in different things, right? They almost always just default to, well, that just means the woman is less than. Well, why would you think that? Only an unhealthy mindset would automatically defer that the woman is the lesser of the conversation. I don't feel like that. I don't think like that. But yet when you talk about things that make sense, and there's ever that conflict or that measurement, they always just assume you just mean the woman is less than. It's just not true.
It's not. It should be God above all, and that should be for the man, right? And women too, but God above all for all, right? And then the woman is really the first line of defense for our youth. We are meant to women create armies. Actually,
yeah, there you go. And you're right.
We create armies, and we don't necessarily fight the wars in the sense of what the men do, but we do on a spiritual basis. But the man has to be the head of the household, because he should fight all the outside forces. And that's why, like, I will not put my kids in our current school system unless there's a major reform, because I'm not handing my kids over to be raised by somebody else. And for me to be told, actually, it's just the way we do it, when maybe my kid is not being treated the same as other kids, or you're handing it to your kid to a woman who is liberal and who actually believes my body, my choice, I can kill babies. And, growing up in the school system, I went to Catholic schools my whole life. If I ever asked questions that required more critical thinking than what was in the textbook, I was always labeled as, like, I don't even know the right term. Basically, I was oppositional. Oppositional. I'm just problematic. I'm just trying to cause problems. And I was not a troublemaker.
What about the one that tried to make you feel, actually did make you feel bad about hunting?
Oh, yeah. No, actually, it was third grade. That's a great story. It was third grade. And I went to a Catholic school, and she had little Tweedledbirds in the classroom. And this woman hated young girls. Hated it because I know I had older cousins who were also females who went through her class, and older guy cousins who went through her class. And our ideas of that teacher are vastly different. Some, that was their favorite, the men. And the women, like my older cousins and me, worst teacher ever. And I don't actually believe in this, but for the video's sake, I had ADHD, right? It's not ADHD. Our kids are not meant to sit in a classroom for 7 to 8 hours. They're meant to play and learn by real life problems, not a classroom sitting at a desk. But by all terms and measures, I had ADHD. And I would do things like, just while she was talking about dumb stuff like cursive handwriting, which I do know how to do.
Kind of.
I would do my homework. And there was one time she came up to my table and took everything off my desk and threw it across the classroom and told me that I wasn't allowed to write. And I know she hated me, especially because when I told her my family went hunting over the weekend, after that, I was always sent to the prayer corner. And no, actually though.
Oh no, Lisa
I had to do my homework there was a specific prayer corner, and that honestly was more of like a weaponizing faith kind of thing, because I couldn't focus, right? And so some people, they come up and they're like, I don't like Catholics. And I'm not that way. I'm not anti-Catholic. I believe no one's perfect, and really we're all trying to do our best, and sometimes the evil spirits win, sometimes Satan wins, but I did not deserve that. And but your mom, those are the stories people call on.
But your mom hammered her. You remember?
I know.
She had that phrase that it's 2000 whatever, and you can go to the store for me. You don't need to hunt. And she made you feel bad in front of the class, right? So we were pissed. Me and Lisa both. So we both went in there. It happened to go see her. We set up a meeting. And so I sat down there. Lisa sat down there, and just suffice to say that your mother lit her up so hard that I had nothing. I mean, there was nothing more that needed to be said.
But that's how it should be.
That's right. And I was like,
mothers should defend their kids, and with the backing of the husband who's guiding the family forward and making the.
I didn't have to do anything. She
didn't
just,
have to.
oh my gosh, I was like,
be a Karen for your child. If you think that something's wrong, call it out.
Yeah, but she was apologizing profusely after that. She was like, she knew never ever to engage you like that.
No, but I still did get sent to the prayer corner, but it's okay. I mean, honestly, I hated school so much. And so that's one of the reasons I did really like Charlie Kirk, is because my whole life I've been told that I had to go to college. I went to the Catholic school, right?
Not by
in
me,
Catholic
by the way.
high school. No, never by you guys.
Not by us.
And it was always just like, well, just keep it open. You never know. Take the opportunities that come your way. But I never understood why people would pay for an education that by all intents and measures, I never actually saw work out for specifically the millennials. And it's way different if you're older. And a lot of people do not like my standpoint. And I always thought that when I was like in high school, I'm like, I actually don't. And you guys, you are who you hang out with. You guys did not really go to college, and you didn't say it was the only way. You guys forged your own path.
Lisa's got a degree.
I think she has an associate's.
No, she had a bachelor's. That might be associates, but she did two different courses.
Yes,
though. Yeah.
She did a lot of courses, but at the end of it, it's like, honestly, who wants their women out there in corporate America? It doesn't create.
I'll tell you a thought on that. I told your mom this, and I never actually verbalized it because we always work together. But I would not want her to then leave every day, go to an office where she's got to be told what to do all day long by some other people when we could, she could run the house, and it's a much more valuable job. I know some people have
Okay,
to.
but full circle, because you guys didn't do that, she was able to stay at home and work with our family business
That's
at
where I was
home.
going.
No, I know you were.
Yeah.
But then to tie it into like our family and how the wedding went this weekend, it's because that my mom stayed home, and also my Aunt Sharon when she was in Michigan, that we literally, and I tell all my cousins, I'm like, we're going to have a party bus like this. And I say party bus because it's more fun. And whoever's watching our kids this weekend is going to have it. And that's literally what mom had. Mm-hmm. She had at no minimum 9 kids with her at any given time. And
Sometimes
anyone
12.
can attest that.
Sometimes 12.
Anyone can attest that. And we literally had a van. She had 3 kids. We literally had a van that she took us all around. And I asked my mom, like, why didn't you have more kids? Honestly, Melissa, I did. I did have more kids, and we love it. And not one of our cousins was raised regretting that, or like, wow, I wish it wasn't that way. Or, we're all so grateful, even if you moved out of state, that we were raised like that. And because mom stayed at home, and not that the other women who did go to work are wrong by any means, like, no. But we were able to have the kind of life where we were homeschooled. Yeah, I did go to school, but as much time as I spent at school, I spent at home with you guys. You guys were there. Even if you were working, you were there.
Well, like you said, I had you in my arm while I had a laptop desk and I was typing with one hand.
But the newest thing is iPad kids, because women need to have it all. Not only do they need to have it all, they have to have it all. They have to have a career. They have to be at home. They have to run a household. There are weak men leading homes nowadays, and women who actually don't have the time to defend their kids. So instead, they have iPad kids whose heads are stuck. I feel so bad. I was talking to mom the other day. I feel so bad for any kids who are so reliant on their phone, and they're not even 5. They're not even 5 years old. It's all a lie. And you have no idea what they're looking at because you don't actually have the time to even take care of yourself, let alone your kids, let alone your house, let alone your community.
But why my whole thing is I looked at the family as your mom's career. The accounting shit for the companies was something she did just to help. To me, that was her career.
Well, also in the beginning, obviously, like you guys built the business together, but you built the business together with the idea that like you guys would have more flexibility. Right. And so like we touched on that on one of your other podcasts, like why didn't you build a bigger empire?
Because family was more important.
That would have pulled all of us away from each other. We would not have the family support group we have now if you had went into the corporate America. And by all means and measures, it's a failure. It's a failure. And yes, we need big businesses. We need that. And like, yes, men should go to work, but women don't have to have it all. We don't need the corner office. What we need is to get back to our roots, to like take care of our kids. And yes, you can have a job. You can have your own business, but on your terms. It should not be on somebody else's terms. Well, and college does not mean you get a job. It doesn't do the same thing.
Somebody made the argument that why not get married young, at the right time, but younger, have all your kids, and then do the things you want to do?
Because you've been lied to, because they're telling you that you are going to lose your career if you have a kid. And it's not true. I've told everyone my entire path through all of working ever is like, I will have a family first and my career fills in. And if I have to take a few years off of hustling and building, I'm going to, because I have a ticking time bomb in my uterus and I want lots of kids. I do, because if you can't beat them, you can outbreed them. And that's always been my philosophy. It just has.
Wow. Man, you really have this camera thing down. You're killing it.
This is what's everyone, though. It's not even like, I actually, on my way here, I was literally sweating and I was praying because I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to say.
Well, we were depressed on the way here. We were both depressed.
No, but you have recorded phone calls. Fucking play it. I was like, Dad, I have no idea what to talk about. And you're like going through these ideas. And I'm like, actually, nothing matters. How lucky are we that one of the most questionable parts of my day was, what am I going to talk about on the podcast today? Like, we are so blessed. We are so blessed to have these first world problems that I've actually, over the last few months, adopted literally the phrase when someone comes up to me and says something retarded or like, oh my God, this sucks. I'm like, that's such a first world problem. And I say it comically. I don't say it to be like totally rude, because people genuinely don't realize it.
Right. It's true.
They don't realize it. And when you know better, you do better. And everyone's anxious and depressed. And how lucky are you? What do you always tell me about anxiety and depression in other countries?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my whole thing is, we're sitting here feeling sorry for ourselves, thinking about our problems over and over again because we have the time. Meanwhile, think of the people in Ukraine right now. I have a guy working for me from Ukraine right now. They wake up and figure out how to work to feed their families, survive. They're not thinking about what pronouns they want to use and how somebody hurt their feelings at the last dinner they were sitting at or whatever.
No.
They're literally trying to survive and take care of their own. And there's no time for this depression, all this bullshit. I mean,
but oh my God, my Starbucks order's wrong. Yeah. Oh my goodness, they messed it up. They used chai latte instead of, I don't even know. I don't go to Starbucks, but you get my point. It's like, I do think that actually our podcast is pretty important and interesting because nobody really sees it from the father-daughter perspective. And it's like, how does that work, right? Everyone says like, oh, you should just raise a strong family. How does that work? Well,
there's no shortcut.
There's no blueprint. It really comes down to the values and being thoughtful and intuitive. And I think that our like the United States specifically fights a separate war, one that's definitely spiritual and also one on the health side. I will preach it from the top,
but
from
you're
the
simplifying
rooftops.
it. You're simplifying it.
I am,
hold on.
It's a lot less hopeless than looking at every single complex problem that we have. Oh my gosh, our government sucks. Okay, you can, despite that, but you can still do these things. And people have to remember that, because when I talk to a lot of the individuals who are in my generation, I don't want kids. Why would I? Our world sucks. It's so hopeless. Well, there's another way. If you can't beat them out, breed them. But also, you can create a community worth having, and it starts with getting your house in order.
But again, let me just summarize, because this is a universal thing. There is no shortcut to having a strong family. No. You have to do hard things.
It's intentional.
You have to say no. You have to make them work. You have to make them pay for their own stuff. You have to challenge even the people on the outside that say you're being a bad parent because you're being tough on them. You have to do the hard work. Mental toughness. I get this a lot.
You have to be the bad guy sometimes, because otherwise the world will do it for you and they don't care about your kid.
Well, hey, let's go back to the team format with team. That people are like, yeah, we want Shane to help with mental toughness and this and that. And then things get hard. And I look at him and said, there is no shortcut. There's no secret. The secret is you do the hard things. And they're like, oh. So yeah, your kid's struggling right now because we are making him do things he was never been able to push through. And now they will. And yeah, it's hard to watch. And we're not harming them, but you can see them struggling, right? Physically and mentally, especially mentally. The physical goes away. The mental is where people are weak. Same in the family format. For me, again, I said this in the last podcast. Your mother and I have been significantly criticized because when things happen and how we handle it, we didn't care what everybody else thought. We didn't care what the public forum was. We didn't care that it wasn't, the status quo. We did it because we knew it was right.
And everyone has an opinion.
Yep.
Everyone. And it comes from their point of view. And all the like a lot of people who react super emotionally, even to like something as simple as me saying something to them, it's almost never because I said it. It's because I had some sort of a past trauma that created that reaction. But nobody actually really dives into their subconscious. They just cover it up with drugs, booze, dancing, other people, everything except for dealing with the actual problems. Something that our family does is we deal with the problem. If there is something that is wrong, it's not, oh my God, my life sucks. Oh my gosh, I'm a victim. Oh my gosh, what can I do? It's like, no, there is something you can do, and you have to choose every single day to do it, because it is not a one-day quick fix pill thing.
I agree.
There is a sacrifice to every action that you have, and it's either even inaction. And you have to choose what that is.
That's a good point. That's actually a good way to say it. There's
you have to
always
choose
it
your
always
heart.
costs. But that's why the world is the way it is. It's easy to be that liberal because you can say yes to everything. Everything's comfortable. Everything's easy. Choose love. Just let him. Let's talk about his feelings. The kid's tearing a room apart. We should have a conversation
Not that talking about
right
your
now.
feelings is wrong, but it's not the only way. You have to you have to speak to people. You have to meet them where they are and help them work through. Like, it's all past trauma. You have to help them work through it. And you can't do it for them. They have to want it.
That's
When
true.
you're told that it's okay to feel that way. You're right, it's okay to feel that way. But now you got to do something about it when you're done feeling that way, because it's not going away.
I agree.
It's not going anywhere.
You got to do hard things.
And it takes a community. It's why everyone says it takes a village. Everyone says that because it's true. Everyone has a unique value to bring, no matter where you're at, no matter if you think that all of your life sucks and that you've never done anything. That's not true. You can now take your experience and turn it around and then tell that to other people and help them through it too, because you were once there.
Yeah, 100%.
You are not a victim of your environment. You are only a victim if that's your mindset. Everything you say in your head is your reality. You cannot control every thought that pops up, but you can wonder about why. Maybe journal. Maybe turn to the Bible. Maybe go talk to a priest. Maybe go talk to a mother or a father or someone you trust. Someone whose life you want, right? Someone whose life you're like, that is actually the direction they're heading in is one that I want to follow to. And put yourself in their aura. Put yourself in their environment.
Well, that's some of the people that approached me were pointing out what you guys were doing and that they admired it and wanted to follow that path. So like that was kind of my point when I said this wedding. I couldn't believe how many people recognized how focused and deliberate that you guys are in everything you do. And you're a lot of fun too, and we all make mistakes and do stuff. But the fact is you know, when it comes down to it, you guys are unwavering in what you're trying to accomplish and who you are. Like there's no confusing what you're thinking, what you're doing, which brings me to a point. Your crazy ass brother. I said that we have to talk about this. So, Peter, we were in New Hampshire at the time, right? We weren't actually in Boston because I know we were in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, but we were at this place in New Hampshire. Peter walked across the street. I don't know if you were with him, and he saw this gladiator helmet.
I was not with them.
So he comes back with this steel $100. It took me 60 seconds to get it, Dad, and I'm like. I was like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Like, what? He put it on his head. I'm like, you look ridiculous. I took a picture. I posted on there. I go, there's something wrong with this guy, right? He's like, no, I'll show you. So he's walking around with this helmet. He's in dress clothes because we're doing all these events.
Yeah.
And we're walking these fancy restaurants and venues. He's got a gladiator helmet. Do you know he's got almost 25 or more videos, photos. Every bartender was wearing the helmet. We got this 60-year-old birthday guy with the helmet singing happy birthday, kids wearing the helmet. Like that helmet got you guys in more, like your mom said, she showed up and people were introducing themselves to her because you guys, I swear, oh, you're her mom? I'm so-and-so. And you guys were entertaining the whole restaurant for 20 minutes before she got there with that Peter with the helmet and you and this and that. One time, this little girl was so cute. Peter goes, oh my gosh, I got to hurry up and find myself a woman and have a kid. That's what he said.
Heard that.
And I said, yeah, you could do that. He goes, yeah, but Dad, got to find the right one. It's exactly what he said. And I was like, but I mean, but he, you know, a lot of guys don't expose themselves and have fun with the little kids and this and that and play. One thing about Pete is he's super kind. He has a lot of fun, doesn't try to have to be macho. though he's very strong, right? And then watching you guys together, then, you know, of course, Megan is like a hybrid. It's so complex to describe your
Yeah.
sister, honestly. But
yeah.
I was so proud.
My
It was so
brother
fun.
is a pain in my ass, and I have a couple stories that I want to say. So we were actually just hanging out with our friends, and I went out because Sophia wanted to go out for some celebratory drinks. I was like, fine, I'll DD for you. Like, I'll just drive you around. So I did. We ended up at a bar with some of our friends, and it was a local like bar that we were playing pool. It was super fun. It was like there was like 5 of us, which that is not a lot of us because we have a really huge crew of just like amazing guys and their significant others who we hang out with. And when I was sitting there, I was talking to Sophia and my hand was on the table like this, and I was like standing. I was standing like this, right? And I was like, Sophia, whatever. And then somebody comes up behind me and they literally pull the back of like, imagine this is like the back of my pants. They pulled my pant like that. And I thought it was Peter because I was at a bar and we're hanging out, we're playing pool, and we're in between rounds. We were actually trying to find quarters because apparently we don't carry any. And so I was like, I kept talking because I didn't think anything of it. And then this guy peeks around the corner of me, like where I was talking, and he goes, wow, you're really tall. And I was like, there's not many times I'm speechless. Okay. And I was like, and I think I sat like that for a solid minute. And I was just like, I was literally computing in my head how mentally how mentally disabled this person was to touch my pants.
Right.
And Sophia was not paying attention. She didn't see him. He was like directly behind me, did not see that. And she goes, oh yeah, she is really tall. And I'm like,
oh my God.
And I watched him walk to the bar, and I'm like, I actually thought he was mentally ill. So that's why I didn't say anything. Normally I would. I'd be like, what the heck are you doing? And I like looked to Peter, and he's sitting like exactly diagonal to me at the other side of the pool table, and he was talking to somebody. So I walk over there and I'm like, and I told him what happened. And then like all the guys came over and they're like, what? And he literally stood up and he's like, I'm going to keep an eye on him because like, what are you going to do at that point? He had already walked away. Right. There's no point in starting a fight. And he didn't ever come back. But the entire time, like I actually thought that I was going to have to keep them from going and fighting. Cause all the boys were sitting there like talking about what to do. And I'm like, oh shoot, like now they're going to go fight. And all women, nobody likes to see people fight. And I actually, it made me really nervous. I'm like, I don't want to get them into trouble, but it's what they should do.
No,
they
100%.
should be there to protect you.
I guarantee you wouldn't have got near you again.
Oh my gosh. No, he never came back around. And I was like, I stuck right by Peter's side. So just in case, like, and all the guys knew too. So they're all like right around that general area. It's not a huge bar either. Mm-hmm. It was just the weirdest interaction. And and there was this other time, and this was me being like an independent woman, right? It was a few years ago, probably 3 years ago at this point. And so we went to like a comedy show, and it was Connor, Peter, and I. It was in Saginaw. And anyone who really knows Michigan, Saginaw is not the best area. And I'm geographically challenged.
Mark Kennard calls it Sagnasty.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
thought. Yeah.
It's called Sagnasty for a reason. And so like, I honestly am pretty aloof geographically. Like they all make fun of me because I probably would. However, if I walk through the woods, I could find my way back. If I walk there, but usually I don't pay attention. Like I'm just too aloof. I don't care. I have my GPS. Mm-hmm. As long as my phone doesn't die, I'm not going anywhere. But after the show, I'm like, oh, let's go explore the town. Like I want to go that way. And they're like, no, we're not going. And I was like, well, that's rude. Why aren't we going? And they're like, oh, because we're just not going. It's not a good area. And I was like, fine, you guys can go back to the car. I'm gonna go. And they like Peter flipped his shit at me. He got really upset at me, and I was mad at him. Mm-hmm. I was mad at him for probably like a week. I was like, he wouldn't let me go.
He did the right thing.
What he was thinking was, I was putting myself in a situation I didn't need to put myself into. And the only thing to me is I love exploring new towns. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love and adore it. And I've really not been there. I really wasn't paying attention where we're at. And they're like, we actually don't want to put my sister and my girlfriend in a position where she can go and get mugged. Like again.
Plus, if he has to protect you, now he's also at risk. Everybody's at risk.
It's just unnecessary.
Because you don't know that you're going to win or lose an altercation. No. It's terrible.
No, you know? And it's not like we're walking around with knives and guns and stuff. Right. Like it's not. We were 18 and like 19 at the time. So.
No, he's not very vocal about a lot of things, but I've seen him lose his shit a few times. That made sense. I mean,
and I never see it that way, but I think growing up, like as an older sister, and also I always felt like I was at war with my brother. But now that we've gotten to be older, all he's doing is actually protecting, and I have a lot of respect for that. And
And you
actually
do a
when
lot for him too. You actually
I try.
help him out quite a bit.
And like we're obviously like I am a year and a half older and we have I think we have a pretty good relationship. It's not perfect all the time. We fight a lot and he's so annoying, but I love him to death. And I know at the end of the day that if there's one person that I could always count on when my parents are gone, it's 100% him, even if he doesn't agree with me or like we fight a lot. It's just like, he will always be there. And really at the end of the day, he's just looking out for me in the way that he knows. And
as a father, that makes me super proud because that's all you want. He's the successor, right? He's becoming the man. But
growing up, I was always protecting him because, man, boys are retarded. They do some dumb shit.
Yeah, boys can be pretty stupid.
And every time I'd be like, yeah, that's probably not going to end well. It didn't end well.
I've always said that boys are almost useless until they're not. Like they're just so
but
unmotivated.
They need that. And they need strong men to be around them so they can play, get hurt, and then learn from it. And then learn how to handle various situations. And they don't do it in school, especially when you look at who the teachers are. They're pretty much all women, liberal women, no less. Mm-hmm. Women who don't, believe whatever they want to believe, probably weren't raised the best. Like, I don't know. Not that that's true for all teachers, but generally... you see some very whack things. I mean, I personally know a principal who I don't even know how they were ever allowed to be a principal for a school.
I know.
Like,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Who gave this woman a job? No clue.
Crazy. Yeah.
Know her personally. But the youth of our America are being attacked, and people are pushing back and asking questions why, and instead getting shot in the throat. That's wrong. It's wrong on every level.
When I was told today that the shooter was caught, I had no reaction because you're not going to undo what was done. Great. What justice is going to actually account for that?
The justice depends on what we do moving forward. I had zero emotional response to him being caught. Other than, of course, you'd like to get your hands on him, but that's really not the thing. It's not the point. It's not even. I don't even have a violent feeling towards the guy that got caught. I'm just so sad for his family. A lot of times I feel like, we should there's this guy online, this guy in the Taekwondo community posted today. He's a fucking moron. I'm tempted to say his name to make this even worse, but I won't. He posted all these reasons why it was fake. He faked his death. And normally I'd get in there and post something because I don't really give a shit about typing, whatever, in my opinion. And I was so fucking pissed and disappointed. I just unfriended him. I don't unfriend many people. Mm-hmm. Doesn't happen, right? I just really doesn't matter enough to me. But I was like, when I literally have nothing to say, that is probably my most. It's not often that we're left speechless.
Right.
Let's just say that. Yeah. No, that's actually really, really sad. I feel deeply for those kind of people. I also like to kind of touch on the commenting on Facebook posts and stuff. Like, I know that for some people it can be really important, but one of the best things that we can do, and that especially young women can do, is just be an example for the people around you. Like, what you should take from this is live a life more like Erica Kirk, right? She actually, I didn't even know she had a platform because I followed a lot of what Charlie Kirk said, but I didn't follow as. Again,
he was everywhere. He was dominant.
And also, I tend to find more female content creators because I am not a man. And he is fighting a war that is much bigger than just me. He needs to be doing that, but so do a lot of other young men because, just at the end of the day, the people who are making more of the decisions are men. And those are the people who need to stand up and fight. And then us women need to create armies. We need to create the good people who are going to join that fight.
I love that create army thing. That's pretty cool. Now, and I will say what I like too. I'll say a positive thing out of the horrible thing that Irina, right, is the gal that got stabbed.
Yeah.
I love that. I only saw the two. I'm sure more, but somebody gave $10,000 to painting murals.
Oh, no.
And Tate gave $1 million.
Elon Musk gave $1 million for Charlie Kirk murals, but.
No, maybe both, because it was Irina first is when I saw the mural from Elon and Tate, and they might have done it again. But I actually, that's a very peaceful but amazing way to put that in your thought, because I keep seeing that stupid clip come up. And I don't mean stupid like the fact that she got stabbed like that and nobody even went over to try to hold.
Or check, are you okay?
Like again, in my mind, the first thing I would do is see if she was hurt and see if I could help. Now, if the guy was still there, I would, I'd do what I could do to take care of him, right? But knowing that you could bleed out like that, they did nothing. So they need to remember this. If we're going to lose her life and his life, there has to be something that can help, memorialize it in a way that changes that response.
And I think we need more art anyways, because art is powerful. And our cities are so bland and boring. It's so bland and boring. There's brick walls that are old and rusty, and they should have colors on them and impactful meanings behind them, because art does have a huge role in our society. It always has. It always has. It's a huge part of culture.
I'm not very artistic, so.
Shocker. Well, do you have anything to add?
No, it's
not really. Where the whole
we
time
planned none of this.
Over the entire weekend, we're like, that's going on the podcast, and then today I'm like, I actually have no idea any of it, and it doesn't even matter. Like, beautiful wedding. That is a family that is going to be blessed moving forward, and I'm beyond excited to see them grow a wonderful family that is staying on the East Coast. But it's just like nothing else compares. We need more Catholic weddings. We need more people who turn to God in times of hardship rather than bodily, worldly things.
Mm-hmm. But you got your wedding. We have Max's wedding. We have the baby on Kurt's side, John's wife.
Jacob's wife.
Jacob's wife, yeah. What a great amount. Like, to me, I'm looking forward to those things. Like, the first thing I said. We
already have the 3 little babies in our family now.
Yeah, and I finally got to
meet them.
Hold on to them. Yeah, it's just so fun. My favorite thing is babies. You know that. It's my favorite thing. People don't know that, but that's actually my favorite thing.
Oh my gosh, actually. And it's not creepy because you have like a way about you where you just like walk up to a stranger and you just say the right things to hold their baby. And I'm like, yeah, that's my dad.
So a lot of photos of me holding babies.
Yeah. Babies like you'll never see again, and parents you didn't know before.
I know.
But
I ask. I mean,
you do. Yeah. You like, and they're always, when I always go up to him, I'm like, is he bothering you? Like, oh my God, no, he's great. And I'm like, okay, you're crazy. No, just kidding. It's awesome. So.
All right. Yeah. I got to get going. So let's sign it off.
Well, thanks for joining us for episode 8. I don't even think I did an intro. I don't think.
Nope. We already picked up on that. So do the intro and the exit.
Well, I don't think it even matters. Like, you know who we are. It's the Melly Show. And thank you for joining us again. And I hope you watch us next week. Like, we'll see what we talk about then. I don't know.
You forgot your piece?
Peace. It's a problem.
You're a problem.